Hello, hello, this is Joe with Nerd in Korea. We're going to do another box opening, another fat pack opening, I should say. Dominaria United today. This set came out September 9th, 2022, so it's a more recent set than, like, say, Strixhaven, which I did last time. We're going to look at some of the values. I think it has been enough time for the values to even out, or at least overvalued cards to go down. Undervalued cards, I think, is a running theme that they often take more time to go up in value. So maybe they take more than a year or two. But anyway, Sholdred the Apocalypse. I've got this and special art one of this, so I wouldn't mind another one though. That is $94.99 US right now. Oh my gosh. Whenever you draw a card, gain 2 life. Whenever an opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. So this is a hilarious choice for a commander. Just like almost group hug them to death, I guess, is the idea. But anyway. Liliana of the Veil. Each player discards a card. For the +1, that's very easy to use in your favor. Just get madness, right? Lots of madness. I would probably want to use this with another color, maybe a Golgari, like a green-black deck. And honestly, if I get this, I would be okay with just mono-black. I'm trying to build the Tiny Bones right now. That would be great for Tiny Bones. Anyway, separate all. The -6 is separate all permanents target player controls into 2 piles. That player sacrifices all permanents in the pile of their choice. So you basically decide, oh, you get to keep half your stuff and destroy the other half, but they choose which half. So unfortunately you can't just go, oh, I'm going to kill all your best stuff. You need to kind of load it evenly, and they get rid of half of it. Really not a bad thing, and it's all permanents. So including lands. A lot of the effects like this don't include land. This would. So you can very easily cut their mana base in half, or maybe even cut it off altogether. It's like choose your mana or choose your enchantments or something, you know? So it's forcing someone else into a very difficult choice, I think is the idea. Timeless Lotus. Tap to add Wooburg, or one of every color. So that is quite nice, and you don't have to sacrifice it or anything. It enters tapped, is about the only thing that limits that, but it costs 5 and you get 5 out of it. So if you have a Wooburg deck, this is almost like, I feel like this is almost a staple for Wooburg. But anyway, Leyline Binding, another Wooburg card. Very big in this set. It seems like Wooburg and legendary creatures are the 2 kind of main sub-themes. Domain, it'll have an effect for each kind of like basic land you have. So this costs 1 less for each land type among lands you control. So if you have all 5 basic lands, this costs 1 white, which is pretty amazing. You can, again, it doesn't actually show the color, so as long as you have white in your color identity, you can use this card. But it's obviously best in a Wooburg in every color deck. And yeah, when it comes in, you exile a target permanent an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. And again, any permanent, not non-land permanent. Once again, a lot of these usually say non-land permanent. So if they've got something where it's kind of a pain in the butt, you can just like take care of that. And yeah. Voldarian Hexcatcher is the next one on the list, and this is the end of the top 5. Other merfolk get +1/+1. Counter target non-creature spell, unless its controller pays 1, and you just have to sacrifice a merfolk for that. Again, you can make merfolk tokens pretty easily. I think there's a lot of different ways to do that. So you would have tokens that are 2/2s at minimum with this, and you can sacrifice them to counter spells, or even just basically tax spells. So if someone wants to cast something big, sacrifice 4 merfolk, they've got to pay like 4 extra mana or just lose it. And as long as you have the merfolk, you can probably make them just counter everything. Anyway, those are the top 5. I am going to talk about some of my favorite cards. Here, Plaza of Heroes, great commander card in particular. So add a colorless or add any mana of a color, only to have any color to cast a legendary creature spell. Again, commander I say it's very good for because your commander is a legendary creature, probably. Or legendary spell. It is a legendary spell. Legendary planeswalker or legendary creature. My tea is not sitting well. Sorry. Add 1 mana of any color among legendary permanents you control. Once again, hey commander, your color identity is determined by your commander, which is going to be probably a legendary, well, I think it has to be a legendary permanent of some kind. The planeswalkers, I think maybe some planeswalkers that aren't legendary can be commanders, but maybe not. Maybe they're all legendary planeswalkers. I know some of them are. I'm not sure if all of them are. That's kind of my hang up on that. Anyway, yeah, and you can, if you have 3 mana open, you can exile it to give a legendary creature, hexproof and indestructible. Ooh, yeah. So basically you can save your commander 1 time or important creature 1 time. That's very expensive, but it's a very good option to have. A lot of times if you have the 3 mana open that's sitting there, people just might not even bother going for your commander. I think it's more valuable as a disincentive than anything. And Shivan Devastator is the next one I'm going to. That's $4. It enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on. It's X and a red to cast. So you can, if you can make enough mana, you can make this however big you want. And especially, I meant to check the name of the, I think it's Halai and someone. Yeah, I can't remember right now. But there's a commander or a card where every time you put a +1/+1 on something, you get to do a damage to a person. So you can cast this and auto damage someone out of the game, probably. So this is a very powerful card in general, and especially with the I should have checked, but anyway. Okay. Silverback Elder. This is something I wanted to get, and it was up around $20 for a while. It's under $4 US now, which I think is massively undervalued. So, like, usually when the value drops, it's because the card isn't actually that good. This is amazing, and it's going down. I don't know why this is as low as it is, frankly. Whenever you cast a creature spell, choose 1. Destroy artifact or enchantment. So just casting creatures, which green wants to do anyway. Just start nuking all of their enchantments and creatures. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Take a land, put the rest in the bottom. Wow. Okay. Or gain for life. I mean, the gain for life is the least amazing, but that might even, that might help you out a lot. If you want to get land down, and if you want to get rid of enchantments or artifacts, this is even having the options, cards that have options like this. I mean, worst case scenario, you're gaining 4 life, basically. That's incredible. If I have the perfect deck for that already, if I get that. But anyway, I am going to keep Again, I'm kind of looking at some that I think are really good. Defiler of Vigor, under $3 now. This is another one where I say this is undervalued. Huge. I think I spent like $6 on this. As an additional cost to cast a green permanent spells, you may pay 2 life. Those spells cost green less to cast. So basically, you can pay 2 life in place of any kind of green mana that you need, which gets a lot more things out. And whenever you cast a green permanent spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Not each green creature, each creature. Again, for any kind of like, even for, I have this in my, what is it called? Selesnya? Is it Selesnya? White-green Selesnya? +1/+1 counters deck. I played this against someone one time. Or no, they played it against me, I should say. Yeah, they played against me. And my whole deck was just +1/+1 counters. And he was keeping pace with counters with me with just this card. Oh, that was really demoralizing. But anyway, amazing card. Undervalued. Wow, undervalued. And I got just a little bit more I want to cover here. I'm trying to keep my intro shorter. A Johnny Sleeper Agent. So, reveal +1 is reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature or planeswalker card, put it into your hand. Otherwise, you may put it at the bottom of your library. Getting stuff into your card draw or sorting. Again, you may put it on the bottom of your library. If you're like, oh, I don't need that. Yeah, put it on the bottom of your library. Great. Or if it's a creature, or planeswalker, into your hand. Awesome. The -6 though, the ultimate, I think it's usually called. You get an emblem. Whenever you cast a creature spell or planeswalker spell, target opponent gets 2 poison counters. So you just have to cast, 5 creature spells and an opponent is out. Right? It's 10 poison counters? Or is it 11? I think it's 10. But even 5 or 6 creature spells, done. Right? You're just knocking out opponents. With a proliferate deck, this is insane. That's like kill on sight. Really? Maybe this is too good? Yeah, this is probably a kill on sight card. It might not make it through the first round. So you might want to have proliferate so you can get, it starts with 4, get to the 6 or higher on the first turn, hopefully. Vesuvian Duplimancy. I actually have this card. It's down to $2. Anyway. Cut Down. This, I really love the mechanic behind it. Destroy target creature with total power and toughness 5 or less. Right? So you add the toughness and power together. If it's 5 or less, 1 black, it's dead. A lot of commanders this would work on, actually. So, I mean, this is one of those cards where you might look at it and say, oh, that's not the best card, but it's something you're going to play. It is an instant as well, so, just hold up 1 mana and you're killing something. It's something you can use every game, guaranteed, is what I look at and I see. It's not the most powerful thing. A lot of people, I'll post things on like Facebook groups and people are like, oh, that's not the best thing ever. It's like, yeah, no, it's not, but you'll use it. Will you use it? I think that's one of the main things, especially in Commander, that people maybe don't ask themselves a lot. And last one I'm going to review here, Karn Silex. Karn Silex enters the battlefield tapped. Players can't pay life to cast spells or to activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. Yeah, okay, that's nice. What you're in for is the X tab. Exile Karn Silex, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X or less. Activate only as a sorcery. So you're basically just sitting on a nuke for the entire board, right? This, it does actually specify non-land permanent, which a lot of them so far have not, but yeah, you're pretty much just like, what is that? I'm forgetting the name of the card. Especially, I like this because I've got a Verna deck, where it's like, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that is like 5 or 6 mana to cast, or even more. So I can go, hey, 3 or less, blow up all of that, and it doesn't bother me none, you know? So this can be a one-sided board wipe. I think it can do a lot of damage. Even a lot of commanders, I think, are like 4 or less mana. So that I think also at 129 right now, hugely undervalued, I would say. But anyway, all right. So I'm trying not to ramble on a bunch, but anyway, I will get to the opening now. All right, see you guys then.